Hello, YouTube fans. How is everybody? This is a conversation I had with John Bon Jovi back on September 13th, 2004. Thanks.
John,
Hi.
how are you?
Good, Stephen. How you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate you taking the time to talk a little bit here.
You got it.
The box set, in a sense, is I think Richie was saying a little bit that you would come forward and wanted to do something special for the like the 20th anniversary of the band, and in a sense, that's what this box set represents. Is that
Correct. And then it just happened to come a long time that the 100 million mark was surpassed a couple of years ago.
100 million records?
Right.
Wow. So, I mean, how did it? I mean, did it initially begin as just like a one or a two CD set, and just grew into kind of?
I didn't know what it would be because, to be honest with you, it was dependent on what the record company would allow. What kind of package they would want to do.
I see.
So, being brutally honest with you, it was dependent on what they were willing to pay for.
I see.
I didn't know. I didn't know. It came down to like, what were they going to sell it for? It's like this whole discussion. So they were cool. At first they were like, well, we'll do a 24 song set. And I said, keep it. And it's not a box to me. It's a 2-record set.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, about 50 songs. And they said, okay, we'll do that.
How did you go about picking those 50 songs? I mean,
O'Brien, our engineer, went through the vault and found things that were representative of the band, and not just solo work. And he presented them to me.
I see, and it was kind of a unanimous approval on everyone's part that this needs to be in, this needs to be in, and
I don't think it was. It really wasn't. It was sort of him. But when he put it all together and I sequenced it, I don't think anybody had any second opinion.
Mm-hmm. So
it was pretty easy to agree upon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what was there stuff that was like remixed or remastered or cleaned up or?
No, 40 of these songs nobody in the world's ever heard.
Wow.
40. And the other 10 are rare soundtracks and things that people wanted us to release, and like we didn't have the vehicle. Like there's a song called Edge of a Broken Heart that was a fan favorite from the Slippery When Wet era that was on a soundtrack for a little movie called The Disorderlies. And so this was an opportunity to release it, finally. So that was like a no-brainer.
Right.
Like that.
Interesting. John, can I just toss out a couple song titles here, and can you just kind of tell me a little bit maybe about what's involved here and that type of thing? Let's see, off CD1, I Get a Rush.
I think that it would be better for me to tell you a couple songs because
beautiful.
You heard them.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Fine.
And still be a better story.
Perfect.
There's something on there's a couple things on the first CD, but there's one called the first track.
Why Aren't You Dead?
Yeah, Why Aren't You Dead? Certainly would be a fan favorite, and it was during the period between 90 and 92. We wrote it having written songs in the past, like Bad Medicine, You Give Love a Bad Name. So we knew how to write those kind of tongue-in-cheek, cute, choruses. When we tried to do it, because we knew how, when we did it for what was to become Keep the Faith, it didn't ring true anymore. We knew it was time to move on.
Interesting.
So this is a classic case of this is the one that got away.
I see.
So people who were big fans of that era of the band will hear this one and go, yeah, that's what I love.
Right.
So that's a good example of that.
Right.
There's a song on there, there's several, with the title Open All Night. And ultimately a song on the Bounce record with the words Open All Night in the title. And you say, well, why were you so repetitious with that title. Well, the truth was is I always loved the concept of These Arms Are Open All Night, and really didn't know how to use it right. So we used it 3 different times, and then ultimately put it on with a ballad on the Bounce record. But I put all of them on there to talk about the songwriting, because the songwriting process is something that's a series of experiments. Sometimes you get it right the first time, sometimes you don't. You hold on to a lyric. You know, you hear somebody's box set out there in the world, and you go, oh, I know that lyric. He used it on another song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's a classic. Why didn't I use it? You know, and so this one title, you could see how it was reworked several times.
Right.
To make it, you know, something that I'd want released. So, there's another example of that.
Right, I understand.
What else is on that? Read me a couple more titles on that.
On the first CD?
Sure.
Miss 4th of July.
That's a great one. There's one that I wrote, or that one and a song called If Only in My Dreams that Tico sings. Very influenced in my Tom Waits era.
Oh, really?
He was such a influence on me in those great ballads that he writes and the great picture lyrics, and I wrote songs like Better Rosen.
Oh, I see.
Of Tom.
Uh-huh.
But while I was knocking out songs like this, these didn't make it. But 4th of July, which, you know, is really a pretty neat song, something that perhaps I'd love to hear Don Henley sing, really talks about the loss of innocence and youth, and how at that point in my career, I was really disenfranchised by what the business of music had become. And wrote this song, so now we wave goodbye to Miss 4th of July, the Queen of the Roses has left me with nothing but thorns.
I see.
You know, and that whole, you know, at the end of the innocence kind of period.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
In any 30-year-old's life, if he's, you know, really doing something like I was at that time. But I felt it was too personal. I had written Better Roses, which was a little more mass appeal. And, you know, more of a love song instead of it being, you know, a song about one's innocence. Opted to use Better Roses.
Mm-hmm.
So this one never made the light of day. Doesn't mean it's not a really good song or that I don't love it.
Right, sure. So then, at the end of the day, then, the songwriting process becomes more of a sense of understanding really what works and a more poignant...
What works for a record when you consider that, for me, a record has to say something about who you are at that point in your life, and that it's not repetitious, and then finally, that there's continuity in the record, so it has, in fact, a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so you can't have 2 songs that are the 6/8 waltz kind of, you know, Tom Waits influence.
Right.
You know, you can have one, and then you move on, you know, and then the other one doesn't get hurt.
Right.
So, you know, till this opportunity comes along.
So as you listen to these songs, and I guess they reach back to about 85, can you sense your abilities as a songwriter improving? I mean, can you listen to it?
Sure. You know, I think, you know, we've gotten better with time, but, you know, that's subjective, I guess. You know, it depends on who you ask, how the songs touch people. You know, you get a song like It's My Life, it moves the masses again. You get a song like Every Day, you think it's the be-all and end-all, and it's not a hit single. It doesn't mean I don't love it just as much, but it just wasn't a hit single. So am I supposed to judge everything by hit singles? No. But to the public, I guess, you know, it's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten better. We're certainly diversified. We've grown. Let's put it that way. We're still not writing You Give Love a Bad Name 20 years later, you know, or trying to. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
We've grown.
I mean, along those lines, can you talk a little bit about your musical relationship with Richie in terms of how you interact? I guess I'm speaking more as guitar players. I mean, I know that you play a lot of guitar. I mean, it's not your main thing, but I mean, I know that you're more times than not have a guitar in your hand. I mean, has that sort of relationship about being able to figure out guitar parts and maybe playing an acoustic rhythm behind Richie's little, you know,
ever be. I play guitar as good as a songwriter, to be honest with you. Jeff Beck's got nothing to worry about with me. But the truth of the matter is what I wanted to do with the guitar was write songs. And the way I learned to play was about that. It wasn't mimicking some guy's hot solos. It was about what chord progression was that and what inversion is that.
I
that
see.
stuff actually never ends either. You never stop learning. So
Absolutely.
I actually feel really humbled on this new studio record by John Shanks, who I think is going to surprise a lot of people with our new studio record, because he and Richie went just crazy with guitar stuff, tunings and different instruments. And it was really fun to watch. You know when to chime in and when not to, but those guys, they're great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Richie had mentioned about this new record that you're working on, so you're obviously excited about it.
Yeah, good.
Is it? Will it harken back at all to?
No. It sounds like us, but it's very contemporary. It's
so
hard to describe what it is. It's pretty rockin', I got to tell you that. And,
so how do you?
There's only one song that's a slow song on the record.
What's that called? Do you have titles yet?
Yeah, the one ballad is called "These Open Arms."
These Open Arms.
But that's it, and it's a rock record.
This is probably a little bit of a difficult question. How is it that the band has been able to maintain the identity of Bon Jovi for 20 years?
Well, I don't think that's a difficult question.
We recognize your voice. We recognize the musical style.
When Grunge came along, we didn't pretend we were from Seattle.
Interesting.
When rap came along, we didn't add a scratcher. And a lot of times, guys are real guilty of that stuff. They jump on a bandwagon, Look, even the great Stevie Tyler was out there singing with Britney Spears and NSYNC.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it. A lot of my peers suddenly in '92 pretended to be from Seattle and get all dark and pretend to be something they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Or as much as I dig Gwen Stefani, when I heard them putting the rapper in the middle of the record, I went, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's not for me. I'm not doing it. We stayed true to who we were. We grew with what we did, like it or not. And trust me, there's people on both sides of that coin. The one thing I can say is that it's honest. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you know what it is. Not trying to be something it's not.
Right. Exactly. Are you a better singer now than you were in '85? I mean, can you hear yourself?
Oh God, yeah.
You are.
Years.
Years. You've learned. You understand your instrument and your voice, and
I think much better. And again, I've seen that happen to guys who've gotten much better, in my opinion. Steven's a great example. Again, Bono's a great example of that. I think that those kind of guys have gotten better with time. I think Bruce has become a better singer with time.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those three guys off the top of my head are great examples of guys that gotten better, I think.
Interesting. Yeah. Was there a period when Richie was doing a solo record and you were doing a solo record and maybe you were being involved in your movie career that was there ever any talk of Bon Jovi just sort of being put to the side for the moment, or were these just side projects allowing you?
The only thing there was never discussion about breaking up. There was never I hate you, you stole my money, you stole my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That just never happened. The only thing that honestly did happen is we got burned out on it. On the machine, on the business, and
mm-hmm.
the touring aspect, and the interviews, and the stuff.
Yeah.
So when we took that 2 years off, we desperately needed it. I'm not saying that we talked to each other every day, but it wasn't that we weren't talking.
I understand.
It wasn't that. It was just like, man, you're the last guys I want to see in the universe. And it was nothing to do with anyone did anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But when I figured that much of it out, And I called everyone up to start Keep the Faith. I said, what, why aren't we working? It's not that you did this or I did that. It's, we need to figure out what was fun
Mm-hmm.
and what wasn't fun and get rid of what wasn't.
Right.
And in doing so, we got back to Keep the Faith, got rid of what was our old manager, started from scratch with our own management company.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the guys, trust this vision, and if we ride this out, I think we can do, we could be the Rolling Stones. And they said, okay, we'll give it a shot. Keep the Faith worked, and, the greatest hits after that, of course, was Gigantic, and blah, 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 blah. So then, by the time Crush came around, we shocked a lot of people. They didn't expect us to find another generation. Either did we, but luck was on our side.
I mean, really deep inside you say neither were we. You were a little skeptical about Crush and what.
No, I was skeptical about it. I believed in it, but I didn't know that it was going to find another generation
mm-hmm.
of fans. That was the amazing thing. Is that record touched 6-year-olds and 60-year-olds. Everybody felt some reason to say, no, it's my life. And you go, oh, duh. Of course everybody wants to be in control of their own life.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that when we wrote it. When we wrote it, I was selfishly thinking of my movie career. And you can't tell me I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Like Frankie said, I did it my way with Frank Sinatra.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get a president elected. I'm going to make movies. I'm going to make records. I'm going to do everything you tell me I don't want to, you don't want to hear from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was exactly what that song was about. And then you'd see athletes using it, kids, chanting to it, and all this amazing stuff happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you look at this box set, I mean, you must have a feeling of immense satisfaction and
yeah, I guess
pleasure and
I don't know how people are going to react to it. It was just an idea, so it's still too close to the vest. Nobody's really heard it.
I see.
Unfortunate reason why you don't have one is for fear that if you lost it, the record company would be awfully pissed off,
Yeah.
In this day and age. So, all record companies, I guess, hold records closer to the vest now, and it's too bad, but that's just unfortunately the way it has to be. And until it's out there, I really won't know how people are going to react to it. I've had it for quite a while, so, I like it.
I mean, is there one shining moment on the record that stands out for you? I mean, one.
Find that I like. There's one of those. These arms are open all night. Just kills me, and Pico singing just kills me, and there's some real great moments for me. It doesn't mean that they're going to be yours or Richie's or anyone.
I see. Can you talk a little bit about the DVD? What's involved in that?
A lot of home movies. Obi, recording and crap in the control room over the years, and then me talking about the songs. So again, it's nothing that anybody's ever seen. Just a bunch of me talking to the camera about it, and then flashbacks of us in the studio.
And what will you guys do for the 30th anniversary?
Probably more interviews. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Let's get by this one first.
Kudos to you guys for an extraordinary career. I mean, being able to, make it through, the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and be vital and sell records is a pretty extraordinary feat. I mean, you can count on one hand. I mean, you called a couple of bands, Aerosmith and U2. I mean, it's hard for me to think of bands that have been around for maybe 20 years or more that, mean anything or sell any records. I mean, you just have to.
Very nice of you. Thanks. I know it's a rarefied air up there. And,
rarefied.
We were lucky enough to be one of those survivors. And don't think you don't have to work harder, because you do.
You really have to work hard. I guess that was my final question is, obviously you have all the money and the homes and cars or whatever, all that stuff buys. So what is it ultimately that drives you at this point?
I just really enjoy writing a song. that gives me greater pleasure than recording it with the second and touring it with his last. I get great pleasure out of it.
The writing of it,
Yep.
the creation, the process.
You know it's going to be there forever, and that to me is the greatest feeling of all of it.
It's amazing. Well, that's unbelievable. Well, John, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I can't wait to hear the record.
Well, thanks a lot for your time. You did a great job.
Thank you so much, John.